Monday Mornings with Matt and Kevin. These two will debate real-life issues from a Catholic perspective every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Make the world Catholic again.
Oh my goodness, it's another Monday. Yes. We are alive. We're alive. God let us live yet another week. Start another week. We're sitting in our cars, driving to work, drinking a cup of Joe, and listening to Matt and Kevin on a Monday morning. We hope that we brighten up your guys' gaze, your guys' days a little bit. It's a Saturday evening here recording. I did that. I just recorded a podcast with Eric too, and I had some pretty bad faux pas. I had no excuse. It's not actually a Monday morning when I'm recording this. So, Matt, what do I need? Maybe I need a coffee on a Saturday evening when I'm recording this.
Why not? Why not? I just saw, actually, this was on the news the other day. There should be a coffee cutoff at I don't know, noon or 1 o'clock or something like that.
If I drink it past 3,
it's earlier than they thought. And here we are. Here you are. What, 9 o'clock on a Saturday? So isn't that a Billy Joel song? It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. And I think that's where you're at. Drinking. I think it is. Piano Man, I think. I think that's a good song.
Yeah.
But so we are, Kev, we are in 2025, and this was our topic for today because time is flying.
I like it.
A quarter a quarter of a century into the new millennium. Do you remember 99? Do you remember 12/31/99? Were you looking out from underneath your sheets?
I remember it being a big deal that it was going to be Y2K. Like my dad stacked the basement with food and
you did.
He was really he did. He prepped for it.
We did not.
He thought that it was probably going to happen, and I remember him even saying like, the thing is that it's good to be prepared, and the worst case is we'll have baked beans for the next couple of years, and we did
a lot of grilling hot dogs.
We were eating big cans of chili for years. If
any
of my siblings are listening to this, oh man, we ate cans of chili. But the best thing was he had boxes of candy bars. So eventually they went bad. That's a bad thing. Who would have thought Butterfingers eventually goes bad? So
but the beans years later,
beans did not go bad.
You're still eating them.
The chili, definitely, we ate years. I mean, I'm telling you, a good 10 years later, we were still eating the chili. For better or worse.
Those were
we survived it. But no, I do remember Y2K.
I was scared.
2000. Yeah.
My parents couldn't have cared less. I was scared, and I remember them telling me look, it's New Year's in Australia and they're fine. So, and I'm like, no, it's when it happens here is the bad one.
This is America.
This is America. They don't care about Paris. I don't care about New Year's in Pyongyang. Like,
anyone care about Fiji? Come on.
It's New York when the world's gonna end. And no, I can clearly remember the room I was in, the television I was watching, and just having that brace yourself as those 5 finals. And then it's New Year, and then you kind of look around we're still here. The big thing was that the computers were made so the year was only two digits. So 99 would become 00, and it would revert back, and there would be a whole colossal but conspiracy. Imagine if there was Twitter at the time, Kev. Imagine the conspiracy theories that would run wild.
There were already conspiracy theories.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Not fueled by Twitter.
Oh my goodness.
Social media.
But what would be interesting would be to have a programmer from that time on a podcast and say, so why didn't anything happen? Why did they think it might and then nothing happened?
Who
that would be really interesting. If anyone does know about that, why did they think there would be something, and then why was there nothing? That would be pretty interesting, because that was not just a garage level, conspiracy theory. That was pretty.
No, correct. In fact, I think
a lot of companies do.
Microsoft. There's if you go on YouTube and you type in Y2K fears or whatever, CNN has a whole special on it, and they talk about airlines and banking, and there's people who were higher up. You're right, high positions who said there's a chance the banking industry collapses or flights everything glitches because everything is just off. So no, you're right. That was not some dude who was sitting in his garage saying hey, look at this. It was a very high profile worry. And we talk about this because as the years go by, things become obsolete. That's what we're gonna talk. That's what we're gonna talk about today.
Like the internet.
Like the internet. Yeah.
Totally
This is pretty cool because the list that I found. So we're gonna talk about, what do I have? 10 things that you or I or most people either grew up with or still use that will no longer be a part of our daily lives. And I heard that I got the inspiration for this by the radio was doing this the other day, and they were going through a whole list of stuff, and I was like, this is cool. We got to talk about this. Nice. For the Monday show. So first one, Kev, landline phones. I think that has been probably the biggest leap of abandoning any form of, if you can call it modern technology to this date. Only 25% of Americans say they still have one, and only 3% say they actually even use them. So, what about you? Do you?
Wait, I gotta look. I gotta look at Germany percentage because it's higher. Landline.
You're so usage. Old school over there. You're stuck in the.
We are stuck in the. Because my wife does definitely use the landline, and she actually sometimes prefers the landline. Yeah. In 2022, 82.9% of German households owned at least one landline phone. That was in 2022, so it's lower than that now, I'm sure. But I bet you it's about 70%. Yeah, it's a much higher. It's interesting that I think it is still kind of a thing. I don't really know why. So yes, we do have a landline, and I rarely use it, but it is used. It does get used relatively often, I suppose. Yeah.
I remember because they would not go out if the power went out. You know, if the power is out, you lose your cell phone service, or your battery dies on your phone. The landline always worked, no matter what. So it was there was a and the funny thing is my grandmother, believe it or not, was one of the first in our entire family of anybody to get rid of her landline phone. Who would have thought?
Really?
The grandmother in like 2000, in like 06, 07. So we're going way back, and that was when cell phones were just before the smartphone. She had a flip phone, and she was like, "Why do I need a landline phone? I've got a cell phone." And she was ahead of her time.
You know another part of this. Yeah, right. You know what's a part of this is what's crazy is that there are numbers when I was a kid that I still remember. I remember someone like my best friend's phone number. I remember my grandmother's phone number, and I don't know I'm not kidding. This is totally embarrassing. I don't know my wife's phone number.
Yeah,
I don't. I barely know my own cell phone number.
Yeah, my parents don't know their cell phone numbers.
Insane.
I know for a fact that my parents do not know their own cell phone numbers. But you're right. I used to remember all of our buddies when growing up. I knew all their numbers. They would write it on they would rip a little scrap piece of paper, call me when you get home from school, and you would call it and you would remember it.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to jump on the list because this was lower down, but it goes to number 4, the phone book. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't believe this though. In 2010, 804,000 tons of paper. Phone books are produced in the U.S., but only 30% of people report using them. Now they're obsolete. So, yeah, it's that relates to the phone. The phone book, I don't even know if they make them anymore. I don't even know if you can get one. I don't know. Did you order one back then, or did they just come to your house automatically?
Sign up for it or something. Yeah, that's a good question. Any older folks said just give us a comment. Tell us how that worked. I don't remember.
Did you ever have like a Saturday night where you open the yellow pages, find pizzas, and just pick one from the list?
I gotta admit to being a naughty boy that we would sometimes I shouldn't say sometimes
prank calls.
Exactly. There were a few times in my life where we made prank calls.
So did I.
In the phone book. Yeah, I'm not proud to say it, but we did do that sometimes. You would find someone with a funny name or something and be like, "Oh, we're gonna call them." And but it was funny. I mean, because there were times, and am I wrong about this? But they would have a name, a phone number, and even sometimes an address, right?
They had the address. Of course they did.
That's what I thought. And
you would go by town.
How crazy is that, right? I mean, talk about now we always talk about, we don't have any privacy. It's like, well, shoot, you'd have your address in the phone book,
and everybody in the entire state's kitchen drawer had your address in it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Wants to murder John Smith, then
they can find him right away.
Well, you may have to go to a bunch of houses.
I used to do that. This is how we passed our time. I used to count how many Smiths or Rodriguez's lived in close by.
Who was the highest? That's so true.
Wow, my town has 12 Smiths.
Yeah, that was it. We had a big deal because my name's Davis, so it's like I think it was the top 5 of the most popular names in the U.S. And so that was kind of like I wonder. It's always a question. I wonder if they're related to us, and then you find out that they're half the time they were black. It's like, oh, probably not. You never know.
Or you would look at your own address every so often just to make sure it was still right. Like, yep, that's it. That's it.
That's so true.
They got it.
That's so true. I remember that. It's because I did. It's still
they got
there.
it.
Oh, that's so true.
I
remember that.
Those are fun.
Oh man,
I used to do that to my friends in school. Like, and then because what it would do is it would list their parents' names. Right. So you would find a classmate of yours or whatever, and then you would look, and sometimes you couldn't tell, like there would be two of them. Like, so let's say your friend's last name was, I don't know, I'll just say Smith again. And then there's three in the phone book and you're like, oh man, I don't know which one it is. And then you'd have to kind of narrow it down by maybe their address or whatever. And then you would have to ask your mom, hey mom, my friend, Brian from school, where does he live again? And then you'd see his parents' names. You're like, got it. Or your teachers or anybody.
I remember, and I don't remember how I got her number, but there was a girl when my first crush. So I was like 12 or 13, and somehow I got her number. Honestly, I don't remember. And anyway, I got a phone and I decided to just call her family. She had a pretty big family. I was like, I don't know what, I was 12. I have no idea what was in my mind. It was just like, I don't know. I really don't know. So anyway, I called them and then, stayed on the phone for a second, then hung up, didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, worst, whatever, it doesn't matter, kind of like a prank call. And then they called back, and I guess because you remember, like,
star six something you can call.
Right. Well, it was caller ID or something. It's like, because I didn't even know that, because that was kind of a new thing. That was
it was
cell phones where it's like you see who calls you. That wasn't always the case.
No, it was not. It would just randomly ring.
Someone called, and we don't know who it was, but they had caller ID.
Star 6-7, I think it was. No, but if you hit star 6, I don't know what it was. Star 6-9. One of those numbers called back the last number that called you.
But
you must have knew.
I may have not known it. I mean, I was 12, but I remember just being shocked. Like, how do they know that I called?
But here's another thing. You get a girl, whoever her phone number, she gives you her phone. Back then, you call her, the mother picks up.
Yeah.
Or the brother picks up. And then you gotta spend 2 minutes on the phone with the mother asking how school.
Pizza.
This is John from school. I'm in Nicole's class.
Oh man.
Those are very memories you forgot you had.
Oh man.
So this one's cool. This one, I realized this, and I feel like you would actually have this one. I don't know, the traditional alarm clock.
I do. I hate it though. I hate it. Like I've had it because my wife and I sometimes give up our phones like completely, or try to. And so I got one, and it puts me in a bad mood because the ones like these little digital ones, and they just have the beep 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 beep.
You wake up to that?
Oh yeah, that's
wow.
Yeah, you said what's what an alarm's for?
Well, I know what it is, but I thought maybe you use it for the time. You could use it for the time. You actually let the thing ping.
Yeah.
Oh,
shoot.
wow.
Well, I mean, it was the alarm, but I that was the thing I told my wife. I'm like, nope, I can't.
You could set it though, so the radio goes on.
No, this is like a really is a real old school, old. This is a battery powered little tiny clock. So yeah, you could get a different one, but I'm not going to spend money on a stupid alarm clock. And but I have, on my phone, I have Gregorian chant of these nuns singing, and I've had it for years.
Puts you to
sleep. Yeah, but it wakes me up too. But it's just such a gentle. Sure. It's just this very calm chant. And I'm telling you, it's a better way to start the day than me. When I was a kid, sorry, I'm going.
No, go for it.
When I was a kid,
we're here for.
My brother got an alarm. My older brother, he got an alarm clock that was like this. I don't remember what it was called. Some stupid, crazy alarm clock. And anyway, it would go off, and instead of just buzzing, it was like screaming at you, and alarms going off. And stuff. Hey, you, hey, get your lazy butt out of bed. That was the thing. My dad had an alarm clock that I think he used for something like 25 years. It was one that. Oh
yeah.
I just went forever.
Every person who was born in like maybe the 60s had the same alarm clock. I think they all.
I bet they did.
Brown. Yeah. Everybody had the exact same thing.
So funny.
And we don't know why.
And they I
remember my grandmother's alarm clock, because we would sleep over her house for fun every so often as a kid. It was like sirens going off. Like,
that's the worst. Why would you wake up for that?
I don't know.
Did you know? I think we talked about this before on the podcast, that there were people back in England who that was their job. They were called waker.
You did tell me this because I asked you who woke up the waker up.
Yeah, right. Who woke up the waker?
I don't know. How did we? we thought of this. I don't know how we brought this up once, but yes, their job was to go around.
Like your roommate was a rooster. Dude,
Just naturally,
don't fail me now.
Yeah.
If you
please don't
up,
sleep in.
We're gonna lose the job and we're gonna lose this house.
You can really get back at somebody if you had a grudge.
True.
This one's cool though. I don't know about this. Paper takeout menus. When you go to a restaurant, whatever, pick up a pizza, Chinese, and you could take one of those paper menus. I don't know if they're as obsolete as they claim here. I like them. I grab one.
Yeah. We have guests. So we have a guest house. So we have a few that we lay out,
Yeah.
Here's some pizza.
I like to read them. This is kind of strange. I actually like to read people's restaurants' menus and kind of see what they have and compare. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing.
Weirdo. Man.
Kind of a weird thing to do. Yeah.
So everyone now, Matt is in the CIA and he's pretty weird.
I have a collection of menus. Somebody
you get married and you're like, so I got kind of a strange, I gotta tell you, I have a habit and I have a collection.
Yes.
No, what is it? I collect
takeout menus. That actually might be not a bad hobby though.
Yeah, not bad hobby. Yeah.
If you travel a lot.
Yeah,
like you're curious. I got menus from Arizona, from California, Texas. It'll be worth something. So they're all locked up in a safe. Yeah.
You don't need stamps. You collect
right, instead of stamps, I collect menus from this cool restaurant. And actually, I know somebody who they moved out to California, and then there's this really famous cookie, or they make giant cookies like the size of like a pizza, and they would go grab a menu. So. Maybe it's kind of normal over here, Kev. Maybe it's just not as bad as as bad as you thought. We should have tied this one into the phone, the answering machine. I don't think anybody has that anymore.
Like the actual device.
Yes, the device. So when I was growing up, it was a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And you would put it in, and then somebody would record. And then I think they kind of got digital, where you could hit play or play back the last message. But originally, it was on like a cassette tape, the thing before CDs. And it would go in the machine, and somebody would record, and they would leave you a message. But again, that was before you knew who was calling. You would have to wait, and they would say, "Hi, it's so and so. It's Monday, 9 a.m."
That was not that long ago. I was probably a teenager.
No, but still, it's not in that far history.
Yeah. It's funny. My mom. So we lived near Denver for a long time, and they had a phone, and I can still hear it. And I think the only thing she says is leave a message, and then you hear like kids screaming in the background.
She couldn't get the silence needed.
My mom, exactly. You hear my mom, and you kind of hear like she's like kind of annoyed, and she's like, leave a message. And they had it for years. I could still hear it.
My cousins and I did that with prank calls back then, Kev. We would leave answering machines saying we're the electric company or, the telephone company, and your power's going off. Man.
There was something about prank. Nowadays, it's just like you can't do it because people. I guess you could, but people will usually say, "Okay, that's not."
It's a lot more complicated.
So they won't pick up.
There are a few people who
they can call you back.
There are a few people who have viral. I don't know what you would call them, TikToks or Instagrams or whatever of prank calls, but you got to go through a whole process. You got to register for a fake number, buy a separate service, do it on your iPad or whatever. It's not like we used to do it.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
If
only we could record. Yeah. If only we I didn't get this one here. I don't get it. The television remote. It says people control their TVs with their phones now. I've never heard of that.
We don't have a TV. Oh, we have a physical TV, but we don't have a remote. So actually,
how do you change the channel? With your phone?
We don't watch TV, so we only use it we pretty much use it as a big monitor
screen
to watch movies.
But anybody who's listening, who changes the channel or ups the volume with their phone on the television? They don't connect that way unless I'm living in the past here. And
it's like a smart house.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a story a bit ago where someone got like locked in their smart house because something? Was it a movie? Okay, yeah.
There was a movie in like 99 or 98 or something like that of what they thought the smart house would be like.
Wow.
The show scared me. It had a virtual wife in it, and she was a hologram, and she would cook and clean and.
Man.
You know, it's funny it's funny how, you know, older movies like that project the future but cling to previous. Like if that came out today, it would be considered wrong that the smart house has a stay-at-home wife, like who's dressed like a maid and cooks dinner and cleans. Like
True.
that would. But anyway, before we get in trouble, this one, yeah, checkbooks. I don't know. I don't really use them much. Do you?
Have you? I have never written a check in my life.
Oh, really?
No,
Never.
never did. Never, not once.
What about credit cards?
Credit
You must
cards,
do-
yes.
Do you track your balance by paper or with your
No.
phone?
Yeah, I've always checked it online. Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
what
guess back in the
that's what I
day,
do.
back in the day, I guess I had pay slips, or I'd just go to an ATM. I think.
Yeah, I use them every now and then. I'm not as
Still.
checks. Yeah.
How old are you?
Only
You-
because
you're 50.
only because you can track them. Like for some things, like I don't put, for example, I don't put cash in the collection basket at mass. I usually write a check.
Why you just
Because
don't trust the ushers, huh?
With cat, because I could track it.
I don't know where that cash is. Mr. Bob up there, maybe 20.
Yeah. But you can go online and see when they cashed it, and you can go back and see. If you're giving out cash, you have no record of
Yeah, that's true.
of
If you're gonna donate that check,
or if you mark
or,
your
right. Yeah, it's because then you
You-
can also get it at the end. Get the
you can write it off as donations or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just do it on the bank. I mean, I just.
I'm curious. Whenever you talk to Mario, I'm curious about him. He definitely writes checks. I can see it.
Yeah, I believe.
Ask him. He does.
I think Mario probably has a pocket watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Mario, we love you. Mario,
Let me check my time.
He is a guy who can have a pocket watch. No, I really appreciate.
He does listen to these. So
Does he really?
he's messaged me a few times saying good
cool.
show together.
Nice. All right.
He has. Okay, this one was cool. I thought this one was old school keys, like, you know, a car key, a door key, a house key. They're saying fobs, those little circle things, and just codes. My car doesn't have a key anymore. Probably maybe yours either. You know,
No,
they have the push start.
Good old fashioned keys.
So, you do,
Which I'm really happy about, because I am not a fan of fobs, because fobs, I've witnessed fobs break and not work or be iffy, and no, I'm a key guy.
but it's just where things are going. I think even if you like them or not, cars are I don't think you can get a typical key car anymore.
Well, we bought ours new in 22, and it's a key.
It still has it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I don't think that's too. Those Volkswagens, those Germans.
And it's actually Toyota.
Oh, really? I have a Toyota 19 and it has a fob.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or yeah, fob. Yeah, you hit the button.
Right.
But a house too. That'd be. Imagine if how ugly that would look if every house had like a little keypad next to it.
I think houses eventually.
Your fingerprint.
Yeah, fingerprint or eye scan. I bet you eye scan is that's.
Oh yeah, true. Why not?
I shouldn't say every house. I mean, this is kind of what we always tend to forget, is that these things are typically for people with money. But I mean, some of them
For now,
and they'll get, you know, more and more. But you know, not everyone's going to have them. But it's interesting, like the doorbell. What's it called? The ring. What is it called?
The ring from yeah. You could
ring,
you
right?
hit it and the video goes
Yeah.
on and sounds are made. Yeah.
And a lot of people have that, and it makes sense.
They do.
It
does.
safety
It's easy.
feature, which
It's
I
easy.
totally get. Yeah.
This one, it says actually is becoming obsolete. Paper maps, I guess, which everybody uses their phone now. I don't know the percentage of people that don't have a smartphone. I think it's quite low. I think we looked this up before.
Gotta be low.
But I think it's quite low. And I know we've mentioned this before. And now anywhere I go that's not in my normal train of where I'm going, I put the phone on and I don't even think about it. Back then you had to plan the route. Before even MapQuest, you would have to kind of write it out. I remember growing up, my aunt or my cousins, they had a house pretty up north from where we live, and my parents had directions written out on a scrap piece of paper. And then when we were driving together as a family back then to go up to their house, somebody would have to shout out, you know, keep going, or, you know, exit 38 there, and then there goes 38, and then then everybody yells, and then you got to figure out what to do now. So that's I could see that.
Depending on who wrote the directions, right? Some people would be like, turn right at Oak Street, some people would be like, turn right at the big rock that has
yeah, and you can't miss it.
portion
Yeah,
that looks like a face.
Yeah, I know.
You drive by. I don't know.
So when
that's
actually
different time.
a quick story about that.
I've done a couple road trips without any tech, and you feel
just
so
your
good after.
just your instinct.
Wow. Yeah, and just watching the signs and the Italian signs that tell you're crazy. But I did it, and man, I tell you, by the end I was like, yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, like a 1900s gentleman here.
I'm a man.
I'm old school. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's a skill to it that I think is very much lacking. Yeah,
it is. Well, when I got out of high school, I got a job that required it was like a catering grocery store, deli, catering business or whatever, and I would often take the deliveries if people ordered catering for a party or whatever. And I had a smartphone back then, but I don't think it had maps on it. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe. So I had a TomTom. You remember those a Garmin or whatever you would put in your car? Garmin, yeah. But every now and then, I didn't have it with me, and so my manager would do just that. He would say, "The delivery is not far. It's local in town. Just take a left out of here. When you see the split tree, that's the left to take." And so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's happened to me many times. And back then, I remember having to call. I would have to pull over on the side of the road and call the people's house and say, "I'm here. I don't quite know where to go at this location. How do I get to your house from there?" And then you had to find your way back, which I had a few moments because every now and then we would have a delivery that was kind of maybe 30-ish minutes out. And I'd be like, I would start getting nervous. Like, people are counting on you for food, and you're going there by your instinct and looking at the map you saw in the store, like half an hour ago.
But it did, as you said, on your way back or on your way there, you had to really actually pay attention.
Now you had to pay attention.
With your
GPS,
it's like you don't even
think about it.
Oh, wait, where am I? And then and then your phone dies, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
You're feeling like one of these Arctic explorers. You're like, this is how it ends. My GPS is dead. It's crazy though. I mean,
I do think of that though when I go on further distances, because what if I'm out to where I need to be, and then to come home my phone does not work or something, and I don't. And now you're right. You can find a major highway and kind of navigate there, but sometimes you take a left, right, and all these back little streets. Yeah, like, who knows? I've gotten lost growing up when I was learning how to drive. I've gotten lost in my own town.
Yeah,
like, he took one too many side streets, and who knows?
I got lost one time in the bad part of LA, but I think that was actually that was when we went on a road trip to California without a phone for some reason, or a phone didn't work or it overheated. So that's another trip I did most of the trip without any GPS, and most of the trip was fine. But there was one part where we're trying to get to, I think, to see Hollywood or something, and oh boy, went down the wrong road. That was sketch, man. That was like that was another time when we're gonna.
You should read brain scans of taxi drivers. It's crazy. Like New York City taxi drivers have a different brain than ours. It's a very strange study that many experts and scientists have done, that their brain has almost molded and shaped. Different parts of your brain are used for different things. Their sense of direction and memory and all that, it has shaped differently.
Interesting.
There was this one guy, I think his name was Speed Levitch, maybe. I know. Yeah, he looks like how his name sounds. And he had the entire city of New York in his head. Every restaurant, every coffee shop, every whatever, knew exactly. You could say, I want to go to, say, so and so a place, and he had a very strange voice. He sounded like SpongeBob. He would say, take the subway 6, take the train 32, get off at 8th Street, 4th row down, or 4th block down. He would just know, like, it's just crazy. That is not me. And then lastly, Kev, on here, snail mail, sending things out with a stamp, writing out an address by hand. They're like, so many things are.
My wife does that a lot, actually. I wouldn't say she writes letters, but we send, I don't know, gifts and stuff quite a bit.
Well, that's a different thing, right? You can send like UPS or whatever for packages is one thing, but I think just mailing out a letter to somebody,
like writing a like that
paper,
writing someone a letter. No, I don't think we do that. But
bills,
paying bills, or we do that a lot
online. Really?
Yeah, on paper. I think we would do both, but I think we would send more than you would expect actually with snail mail.
So you've got an old school alarm clock.
Yep.
You pay your bills by paper, but you've never written a check.
I've never written a check.
You would think it would just swap it.
Yeah,
the other way around.
It is weird.
You're gonna start writing checks. That is odd, but that's all right. Everybody has their quirks.
True. And it's interesting to see that Germany it does have some different things than the U.S. And it's something that I really do forget. Like I'm here so long that I go back to the U.S. and it's like, oh right, it's like, wow, this. I mean,
this is how you live.
People are nice. Weird. It is. It really is interesting. We're coming back next spring, so that'll be really interesting.
Oh, all right. Oh, so you'll get.
Man, you gotta come to Colorado or Omaha. Meet us.
Oh yeah. Which place is more common for you?
More time in Omaha.
In Omaha.
Come for the ordinations. Ordinations
in Nebraska.
End of April. In Nebraska.
26?
29th, I think.
No. What year? This year?
This year.
Oh, this year. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, that's for maybe I did hear about that. You're right. That's
at
the Omaha.
I
did see about that in the newsletter, which I have.
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty cool.
I think
you should come. Ordinations are very right. Ordinations are very worthwhile.
I think this is it.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's in the little. Yes, this is it. Here they are.
Nice.
That might be worth seeing, Kev. That might be.
Yeah,
that might be
meet in person. That would be weird.
That would be. That would be strange.
My wife asked me that the other day. It's like, so what does Matt look like? And I kind of try to give her kind of a description of you, and she's like, well, how tall is he? He's like, I don't know. I always see him. Sitting down, but I told her, I bet you he's pretty tall. He looks like a guy who must be
6'0", and that's not exaggerated. 6 foot, not 5'11". Truly 6'0".
I used to say I was
near friends on Facebook.
5'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how tall you are by your Facebook. See, these are the questions that
what I look like. Oh yeah.
How tall is? I don't know how tall he is.
Yeah, how tall is he? Very curious.
Is he good looking? I don't know.
Stop asking me questions.
Yeah, he's kind of albino, got a hunchback, but I mean, he looks fine. No, it is the funny thing of the anonymity. It does make it more interesting.
It does.
People really have that weird wonder of what does this guy look like? My face everyone has my face like as a nightmare, I think. Was it you who was the I'm Kevin Davis is a Catholic family.
A few of us.
Yeah, as you dream of,
I've done that in the car. Like while on a drive, like at just red light and just decided spontaneously. I'm Kevin Davis, and this is the Catholic Family Podcast. Yeah, it's like come out.
Did I tell
not the only one? I'm not the only one.
Phones?
No.
Okay, so I think I've told this on the podcast, but I worked as a receptionist for a medical billing company, so I had to pick up the phone 500 times a day and say one thing. Superior medical management. I forget the whole spiel. Anyway, I was serving mass one morning, very early, like very, very early. I forget it, like 6 o'clock in the morning or something for some reason.
Yeah,
I was not very awake, and unfortunately, so my bad.
I've done that.
Anyway, it was a person for the altar, and I think I must have been like half asleep and missed my cue. Missed what the Father's prayer that I should respond to.
Sure.
And my instinct, my
brain
was like superior medical. I was like, my heart like dropped. I was like, and afterwards, it was Father Anaya. So it must have been Olathe, Colorado. And Father Anaya asked me afterwards, he was like,
what were you saying?
What were you saying? No, the good thing is Father Anaya is not a morning person, so he actually did kind of.
You were in the same boat.
He understood me a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he didn't miss any prayers, but he could kind of be like, yeah, okay, that stuff happens. But yeah, that was pretty bad. But that's
I've never done that.
It's into people's minds. We're part of the zeitgeist, I suppose.
I don't know. I've never. I've never said anything opposite, but I have done it where like your brain blanks as to what's next, and it's like I'm in trouble now. I've had that happen, and then Father is picked up. And
have you ever had it where you drive to work and you wake up and you're like, "Whoa, how did I get here?"
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Many times. I had a job that one job in particular that was about 20-ish minutes away. That would happen to me a lot. Like you truly don't know what happened. Like within, which feels like a split second, I'm like only a minute or so away.
Yeah,
Like,
weird.
whoa. Like, how did I accurately
Yeah.
and safely get here? Like, yeah, I don't know what that's called. There has to be a name for it.
Yeah.
Not deja vu. But
Aliens, probably. You were probably abducted and then
that's right. Exactly.
They just wiped that part out of your brain. You know,
Exactly.
That's the most obvious answer is usually correct.
Aliens. Yeah.
Aliens are typically the most obvious.
This is our last week. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Our last week of Joe Biden, by the way.
True. We're going to be doing live stream on the other channel, by the way, everybody. The Traditionalists. If you haven't already subscribed, you should.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a live stream on January 20th. Hopefully Matt will be there. It is Martin Luther King.
I might try to pop in because that day's off.
Yeah. You should have free.
That was fun. The election night. That was a lot of fun when we did the election night. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do another long, maybe not that long, but 3 hours, 3.5 hours. People can jump.
That was
on,
long.
Jump off.
Yeah, that was long.
Yeah, it'd be fun, and we'll see. I don't know if there's gonna be that much to talk about. We're really curious to see if Trump actually does start doing stuff on day one. We think he might. So could be
21st. We should take the 21st off just to see what happens.
Totally.
Day one, we need to see it.
Yeah. If the world still stands.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. I'll actually be gone next Monday. Oh, wait, that is next Monday.
Right, that is the 19th.
So I guess you guys, Matt might do his own show. I'll be gone at this because we always record on the weekends. I'm going to a basketball tournament, which is pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited about that. But Matt will be on his own. Or maybe he'll find another.
Maybe I'll find
friend,
somebody.
I suppose, too.
I might. I just might
chat with. We'll leave that to Matt. Another albino Sasquatch, one of these anonymous folks.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, everyone, we appreciate you being here. It was fun. I really do enjoy these topics.
These are cool.
These are a lot of fun. Really, it's as you said. Isn't it amazing to think like these memories that they trigger? It's like, wow, that happened. Oh yeah, this.
I actually did that.
Cool.
Yeah, I actually did that.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And everyone, we hope you appreciated it too. Trip down memory lane. Please again, like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell, all those things, and go over and subscribe for the Traditionalists. If you like that kind of content, it's much more news, culture, not quite so much faith, catechism, etc. Honestly, kind of more like mine and Matt's show. It's like this show, but a little more serious. I don't know, whatever. It is kind of more similar to this than other shows, but it's good. Sure, it's got some really. Matt's one of the hosts. I'm one of the hosts. It's got some really good content already. So go check it out. The Traditionalists with an S. If you spell that out, you'll find it.
Correct.
And you have to have the S, or you will not find it. It'll just give you a bunch of videos about tradition. So yeah, good luck. Awesome, Matt. Until next Monday. Maybe we'll see you for the live stream.
Oh yeah, I would probably pop on.
If not, have a nice week. Everyone else, we'll see you then. And have a nice week.